What's up guys, my name's Dan and welcome to The Vault. Today I'll be reviewing the frightening and gory Alien Covenant, starring Michael Fassbender, Catherine Waterston and Danny McBride, of all people. I'm not hating, it's just a really surprising casting to me. Anyway, Alien follows after the events in Prometheus, 10 years on with a new crew who are on their way to colonise a planet when their journey is interrupted by a mysterious signal which they then go to investigate. First things first, it should be said what an amazing director Ridley Scott is. He knows spectacle and he has such an eye for the visuals. He also knows how to draw us in as an audience, with tragedy striking within the first 10 minutes of the film. The guy is just a real master at his craft. The way he moves the camera for these big, beautiful, establishing shots is just further proof of his skill. He has certainly put his own unique brand on the franchise, just as James Cameron did. But let's talk about the film. It's slow in pace at first, but the script makes up for that by creating just enough tension and mistrust between the ship's captain and some of its crew members. There are even some strokes of comedy as the crew members banter amongst themselves. It then builds more tension in the one person being picked off at a time fashion that the franchise is so well known for, the confusion and just general terror. We also get a tiny bit more insight into the engineers, which was interesting. Another popular and well-known thing about these films, and one of its strengths, is how gruesome and sickening the deaths are. There's lots of blood, so much blood. This also really helps the CGI and special effects, certainly when concerning the Xenomorphs, who are more terrifying and formidable than ever before. If you ever thought a baby Xeno was cute, then you were so wrong. No CGI could ever make those unholy bastards cute. All of the cast are tremendous, all displaying the perfect range of emotions at the realisation that they are being hunted by Xenomorphs. But it is Michael Fassbender who really cuts it, playing a perfect duality between Walter and his sinister counterpart David. Learning to play the flute has never been so bloody erotic. There's just a nice juxtaposition between the experienced David and the naive, innocent Walter. None of the cast will ever match the badassery of Ripley, but they still do a stellar job. The set pieces, set designs and locations were just truly beautiful. I honestly felt like I was on a colony ship in the depths of space and then onto a beautiful, lush planet that was hiding danger at every turn. Moving the filming to New Zealand was a very smart move. This film's main strength lies in its philosophy and its symbolism. The themes of creation and playing God are expertly executed. It's just really intriguing and thought-provoking. I only have a few criticisms with this film. The action sequences were enjoyable, but nothing not seen before. The soundtrack was ominous but standard fare for a film like this. And that old foe strikes again, predictability. The script, while great at building the tension and the fear, didn't do much in the way of character developments and making us connect with the characters. The only character that had any kind of evolution was probably Walter. The script for me also lacked any kind of emotional punch. The CGI was also a little off at some points, but maybe because I watch so many films I notice things like that, which probably isn't a good thing. Despite all that though, this is still a very entertaining film. The lesson I learned from this film was that maybe sometimes our human curiosity can be dangerous, that maybe the things we don't fully grasp and understand are better left alone. That, and you shouldn't touch tiny black pods of death on a mysterious planet, because, well, then aliens happen. Just food for thought. Anyway, as always guys, let's see if Alien Covenant belongs in the vault. What's up you beautiful people, welcome again back to the blackboard. Today we're going to see if Alien Covenant belongs in the vault. Question number one, was this film entertaining? Was I bored at any points watching this film? I personally was not bored at all whilst watching this film. I really enjoyed it. I was quite engrossed from the start till the finish. I really loved the themes of gods and creation and playing gods. and those themes really spoke out to me. So I was not bored at all whilst watching the movie. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a tick. Question number 2: how was the direction, music, etc.? Did it make the viewing experience any better? There's nothing really much to be said about the music in this film. Ridley Scott is really great at bringing you these really wonderful, beautiful visuals and making you believe that you're on a desolate alien planet. And again, the philosophy and the themes used in this film really kind of spoke out to me as an audience member watching this film. That particular viewing experience is much better in my opinion, so I'm going to give it a tick for that. Question number 3: did the film elicit an emotional response? Did I empathise with the characters? I didn't really empathise with any of the characters in this film. Maybe the fear of being hunted by these aliens, these xenomorphs, but I couldn't really connect with that kind of fear because I've never really been hunted by a big black alien. So my very black cameraman is giving me a look right now. I think he's about to use the racism card. However, I did not empathise with the characters in that way. So for that, I'm going to give it a cross. Question number 4: would I pay to watch this film? Definitely, I would pay to watch this film. It's such a great add-on from Prometheus and the previous Alien films. Whereas James Cameron made obviously his kind of mark on those previous ones, I feel like Ridley Scott has given us a fresh, albeit similar take on the franchise. So I would definitely pay to go and watch this film. It's entertaining. It's just a really great film. I quite enjoyed it. So for that, I'm going to give it a tick. Final question: would I suggest this film to my friends and you lovely subscribers? Now I know, after talking to a couple of my friends and a couple of people, friends of friends, that this film was very divisive. A lot of people really didn't like this film. A lot of people seem to think that it was more like Prometheus. I enjoyed Prometheus. A lot of people didn't enjoy Prometheus. So this film is very divisive. I would say that if you're going to go into this film, then just keep an open mind and, you know, just try and enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, then fine, fair enough. But I do know of people who would enjoy this film if they haven't seen it already. But most of the people I've spoken to already haven't really enjoyed the film, so it's been quite divisive. But I would suggest it to friends, maybe not family so much, because this kind of film isn't really their kind of thing. But I would suggest it to you subscribers if you haven't seen it already, because it is worth a watch. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a tick. And there we have it, guys. It looks like Alien Covenant will be going into the vault. As always, guys, if you like what you see here, if you like what I do, please like and subscribe down below. I'm about to smack the shit out of my cameraman right now. Like and subscribe down below. And, you know, please comment if you've seen the film, what you thought, whether you liked it or if you didn't. And again, as always, guys, until the next video, peace and love, my dudes.